Good afternoon, everyone. I am Dr. Abhijit Sinha, Vice President, Union Territory Zone of ILA. It's my privilege to welcome you all to this national webinar on the topic Dr. S.R. Ranganathan and Classics of Library Science and Analysis in the Context of Changing Dynamics of the Society, being organized by Indian Library Association on the occasion of 134th birth anniversary of Padam Shri Dr. S.R. Ranganathan, the father of library science. In his remembrance and honor, this day is also commemorated as National Librarians Day. So my heartiest compliments to all the fellow library professionals, colleagues, friends for a very happy Librarians Day. May I now request our President ILA, Professor Pradeep Rai, to formally welcome all the participants and other fellow LIS professionals, distinguished guests, honorable eminent speaker of today's webinar, and also to say a few words on this occasion. Dr. Pradeep Rai, please.
Thank you, Abhijit. First of all, I welcome Professor Ramesh Babu sir for sparing his valuable time and readily available to speak on this auspicious occasion of 134th birthday of the Dr. S.R. Ranganathan, father of library science in India. So first of all, I thank you, sir, for your sparing your valuable time. I am also thankful and welcoming all the participants for this occasion, and Dr. D.V. Singh ji always with us to help us, and unka Ashirwad always with us. So I welcome you, sir, also on this occasion, as well as our team of members, Abhijit, Viresh, Vinita, Saheli, Rahul, and many more if I leave anyone names, as well as the all LIS professionals throughout the country. Dr. O.N. Chobe is there. So I welcome each and everyone for sparing your time, and this is the time, and we are taking the advantage of this information and communication technology, and we are celebrating this moment from our desktop and from our own pace only. You know, dear friends, it is the time we have to follow the guidelines given by Dr. S.R. Ranganathan. And as we all know, due to many things coming to the profession and not on the profession in this society, and slowly we are leaving the things, हम अपनी roots से outside जा रहे हैं. So we have to follow Dr. S.R. Ranganathan philosophy, that may be from classification, cataloging, and the user services. So in this respect, I am not taking so much of time. I wish you again, all of you, the happy Librarians Day. One more thing I want to share here, each and every faculty member or the society people and even the honorable government, the Prime Minister and so on, are appreciating the work of librarians in the country. So I hope all of us work hard towards maintaining our name and fame of our profession and librarians in the country. And we will work hard and we will follow the guidelines given by the SR sir, as well as we will follow the 5 laws of library science with particular reference to library services. So once again, I thanks a lot and welcome all of you in this meeting. Over to Abhijit. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pradeep sir, for your welcoming words and talking a few things about profession and especially Dr. S.R. Ranganathan. Before we invite our London speaker for his valuable deliberations, let me share a brief biographical sketch of Dr. S.R. Ranganathan, especially meant for young participants. Shyali Ramamrita Ranganathan was born on August 12, 1892 at a village Shyali in Madras. He earned his bachelor's and master's degree in mathematics in the year 1913 and 1916, respectively, from Madras Christian College. Thereafter, he joined as faculty in Government College in Bangalore and subsequently in Coimbatore and Presidency College in 1921 to 23. In 1924, for the first time, he was appointed as the librarian of University of Madras. Uh, After that, he went to London for some advanced training in the field. From 1945 to 47, he served as librarian and professor at Banaras Hindu University. From 1947 to 54, he taught at Delhi University. From 54 to 57, he remained abroad for research and writing. His major contributions, as we all know, is colon classification in 1933, classified catalog code in 1934, prolegomena to library classification in 1934, theory of library catalog in 1938, elements of library classification in 1945, headings and canon in 1955, five laws of library science in 1931, which we all know is a widely accepted as definitive statement on the ideals of library services. His major roles and responsibilities remain as he remained president of Indian Library Association during 1944 to 53. He chaired Library Committee of the UGC in 1957 to look into the function of academic libraries. He was conferred Padma Shri Award in 1957 by Government of India. He founded DRTC and he headed it also in 1962 in Bangalore. In 1965, he was honored with the National Research Professor in Library Science. In 1965, he chaired a review committee on library science education, and he also prepared Model Public Libraries Act. He has made tremendous seminal contributions in almost every aspect of LIS field. And during his long career of 5 decades, he wrote 60 books and some 2,000 technical papers. He left us on 27 September in 1972, and he left us with a huge professional heritage and legacy, which we all need to carry forward for the growth of the libraries and LIS profession. So this is a brief biography about Dr. S.R. Ranganathan. So moving forward in the program, may I now request Dr. Viresh Hanichal to introduce the speaker of the day, Professor B. Ramesh Babu sir.
Good afternoon, friends. I know that Professor B. Ramesh Babu sir doesn't require any introduction as he is widely known across the country, but it is customary for us in ILA to introduce our eminent speaker. And I deem it my privilege and honor to introduce our today's distinguished speaker, Dr. B. Ramesh Babu, former professor, Department of Library and Information Science, University of Madras. He served as professor at the University of Madras from 1990 to 2012 and subsequently as visiting professor at Mahasarkham University, Thailand during 2012-13. Earlier to that, he served at the State Regional Library, Andhra Pradesh during 79 to 80 and at the Ramakrishna Mission Vivekananda College Library, Chennai from 1980 to 1990. Professor Ramesh Babu sir is an accomplished researcher, teacher, author, and an eminent LIS professional. He secured Dr. S.R. Ranganathan Memorial Gold Medal from the University of Mysore for securing first rank in MLib Science. He was also awarded the prestigious, hello, am I audible?
Yes, audible.
He was also awarded the prestigious Commonwealth Fellowship for Postdoctoral Research in 1999-2000, through which he undertook research on web opacs in UK academic libraries at the Department of Information Science, Loughborough University, United Kingdom. His academic engagements have taken him to several countries, including prominent countries such as France, Germany, South Korea, Indonesia, Nepal, Thailand, Bangladesh, and many more. His outstanding contributions to library and information science have earned him numerous prestigious awards and recognitions, such as the ILS Motiwale Best LIS Teacher Award, the Best Teacher and Researcher Award from National Association of Indian Libraries, and most recently, the Outstanding Professor Award in Library and Information Science by Scientific Laurels in 2026, and many more. Furthermore, his long-standing contribution to the profession has been recognized through several Lifetime Achievement Awards, including those from the Karnataka State SC/ST Library Professional Association, Madras Library Association, and the Indian Library Association, New Delhi. Professor Ramesh Babu sir has made an exceptional contribution to LIS education and research, and he has published more than 30. He has produced more than 30 research scholars for their PhD degrees, and he has published over 470 research papers in Indian and international journals, transcripts, volumes, seminars, and conference proceedings. He has also edited 65 books, including conference proceedings and transcripts volumes. He has served on board of studies in about 20 universities and board of examiners in nearly 40 universities in India and abroad. He has successfully completed 5 major national and international research projects covering areas such as annotated bibliographies, library users and non-users, folk wisdom, manuscript libraries in India and Thailand, and the crisis in LIS education in Thailand and India. Professor Ramesh Babu sir is a life member of several professional associations, including ILA, ISLA, ITLIS, MALA, and many more. He has held several leadership positions, including Treasurer, Joint Secretary, and Regional Secretary of ITLIS, Council Member of ILA, Vice President of TLA, and President of FIC. He currently serves as a co-president of ILISS. His remarkable professional journey and contributions have also been commemorated through 2 Scripts volumes, with 4 volumes. The title of that volume is Dynamics of Librarianship in the Knowledge Society, and the other one is Facets of Librarianship Yesterday, Today, and Tomorrow. With his rich academic experience, extensive research contributions, international exposure, and distinguished service to the library and information science profession, Professor Ramesh Babu sir is truly a celebrated scholar, eminent teacher, and an inspiring academic leader. It is a privilege to welcome Professor Ramesh Babu sir and have him with us today. Thank you, and now over to Dr. Abhijit Sinha.
Thank you, Dr. Videsh, for a wonderful introduction of Professor Ramesh Babu sir. May I now request our eminent speaker, Professor Ramesh Babu sir, to deliver his lecture on the given topic.
Thank you very much, sir. I think I'm audible.
Yeah,
Yes,
audible,
sir.
please, sir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sindhu, and many office our professionals and fraternity of library science people, ILA president and other office council members, vice presidents, and the host of senior Professor Divya Singh, and many people known to me have been having a lot of contacts for over a period of years. And I am thank the ILA for inviting me to be part of this national webinar to speak on Ranganathan. In fact, Pradeep Rai asked me in the month of June for a series of lectures. Suddenly he said, no, we'll have in the August like that. I said, okay, anytime is okay for me, I told. So I thank Pradeep Rai for the opportunity to be with you in this case. Let me present my presentation and able to share. You can see that? Yes?
Yeah.
Yes,
It's
sir.
okay,
Thank
sir.
you.
Go on, sir.
Okay. As you know that the topic given to me is Dr. S. R. Ranganathan in the classics of library science, an analysis in the context of changing dynamics of the society. What happens is we have been talking about Ranganathan for so many years during his lifetime and after his lifetime. And this year happened to be 134th birth anniversary of Dr. S. R. Ranganathan. And as you all know that entire country and outside country also in some places, they're celebrating and conducting the webinars and the virtual and the physical meetings to commemorate the birth anniversary and highlight the activities of the case. Is it running screen?
Yeah, it's okay, sir.
Yes. As you all know, the Ranganathan is very known to us. He's the father of library science in India And most of us know. So for the youngsters, very big shares for the teacher of Ranganathan. And all that already our Vice President in the introductory remarks has mentioned about Ranganathan's private data. Therefore, I will skip those things. However, the topic of this particular webinar is on classics of library science and Ranganathan and analysis. As you know that classics are the documents which we'll never see, but I could just give some 6 books like that, like a Prolegomena, Alphabet Catalog Code, 5 laws is one of the important document, Quran classification, administration, book selection, so on and so forth. And just Mala, you was a founder member of the Mala, and we are happy that 1992 on the centenary of Ranganathan birth, when the government of India released the stamp at Madras University. At that time, we conducted a national conference where the stalwarts of across the country visited our Madras University and commemorated the birth anniversary of centenary. At that time, the stamp was released, and the book selection, open book system, and the card catalog are available still in Madras University. This is once again I want to mention that it is the idea of Dr. Ranganathan designed and developed and managed the Karjan & Co in Chennai. And of course, ILA logo also, you can see that. Yes. This is University Library, Madras, where Ranganathan worked, this vertical side and horizontal side of the library. And this is where you can see these cupboards, not the chairs. The tables are designed at that time during Ranganathan period. The periodical section where the tables and the bookshelves all designed, except the blue chairs. Other things are by Ranganathan designed by the Karjan & Co. This is why I can see the chairs. One important point I want to mention that the half semicircle chairs are designed by Ranganathan, but you can see longer hours and comfortably you can read these. Still, we are maintaining the chairs. Some chairs are dismantled, but many chairs were repaired and keep the legacy of Ranganathan. We are maintaining the chairs in the Madras University Library, including the counter and the reference section. This is once again Ranganathan's vision. The reference big hall where you can see one of the British stalwarts of the portraits of the color paintings. The reading tables are designed by Ranganathan. His ideas were taken in case. This is how the reference section of the Madras University Library. Still, we are having those things in Madras University. This is the Department of Library Information Science, where we still existing it, and we worked, and many stalwarts worked in the department and made the glory of Ranganathan contribution to library information science. Come back to the classic. Classic is a book which people praise and don't read it. The classics are books everyone knows, but no one has read it. This is two things I want to specify, because when you say Ranganathan and classics of library science, there are many books are there. As I could see, there are more than nearly 100 books on monographs by Ranganathan. In fact, Professor A.N. Raju of Osmania University has reviewed each and every book available in India. He has written in Granthalaya Sarvasvamu, a Telugu magazine of library science, which is very oldest and first magazine in library science in India, I can say, because it was started by 1914 by Dr. Iyenki Venkata Ramanaya, the father of public library movement in India, which has influenced Dr. Ranganathan also. In 1914, he has conducted a national conference. That is how he has made it. That particular documents who say classic, we never read those books, some of the books, but we still talk about that. Even myself, I have not read all the 100 books, whatever Ranganathan wrote it, to be honest. And everyone like that only. But we know there are books out there, but many do not read it. That's why the classics are still classics, but we have to see that as a memory and the glory of Ranganathan. Let us make our students and ourselves read available books in the library, at least start now onwards. And Ranganathan to library science, ancient to physics, all these are the six. We talk about Ranganathan's glory and these things. As of course, this I don't once again repeat, but one thing I want to add to our Abhisit Sinha's statement. Official date of birth is 12th August, but as per horoscope of Ranganathan, August 9th, as per the horoscope, is what he was not born in Chennai, but he was born in Shirgali near Chidambaram, Tanjavur district. Still, the house is there in the Chidambaram near Shirgali. Still has made as a monument there, and that is what not in Chennai. And his Ranganathan is well marketed. These are the things already told by our Vice President. I don't once again share. The last year, I think the Times of India has brought 100 years ago, a Madras maths professor resigned and it rocked the world of libraries. That's how, when he was a professor of mathematics in the Presidency College, suddenly he jumped to the library, and that's how now we have to talk about Ranganathan, a maths professor becoming a librarian. Normally, librarians want to become teachers, but here is the reverse case, that how exactly he talked to the world of libraries. And he made a international and a global recognition contribution to the development. And this the photograph taken from the Madras National Library, that is taken book racks and all the things. That is all Ranganathan contribution. I think you can be able to see this newspaper and you can be able to get it in the archives. You can see Times of India. You can be able to get the full text of the cases. And of course, these things are already told by Abhishek Sinha. I don't repeat in the cases. Let us come to the classics. I just made a very important documents. Already Abhishek Sinha mentioned some of the documents, and these are the classics which people should have to read it. And I appeal that let the young scholars, including the young teachers of library science and researchers, try to read, understand the way of writing. The writing skills of Ranganathan is something unique. One has to see, understand it. Of course, his language, his presentation was something difficult for us. I will just share one point. In Prolegomena and Library Classification, 1967, edition 3, is a classics of containing the canons and of Ranganathan's classification. And we used to mug up those canons of 40 canons. That was the days, during our student days, our teacher says, it is like a Bhagavad Gita or a Suprabhatam. You must read and mug up those classics of Ranganathan canons, which are given elaborate in Prolegomena. That's how we read some of the books like colon classification, 5 laws and classified catalog code, Prolegomena, and the theory of cataloging, administration. These are the books we read it, and many books we have not touched, including document press also we read in those days. But nowadays, our children, young students, budding scholars are not at all touching these books. I appeal on the day of Ranganathan's birthday of 134 year, let us take a vote that let us start reading those books and enjoy the beauty of library science, librarianship, how Ranganathan contributed to the legacy of librarianship in India and abroad. This is why, and I leave to Ranganathan and classics to the changing dynamic society. Society is changing very fast. As we look at this diagram, the society is, as we look at the Oliver Toffler in 1980, third wave, he mentioned wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. That is a tribal agrarian society is a wave 1, industrial, post-industrial is a wave 2, knowledge society, information society, literate society is a wave 3. Whereas the network, digital, cyber, Android, and AI are the later developments in the society. That's why in all these societies, right from the starting of Ranganathan time, agrarian society to the AI society, the works of Ranganathan are still relevant, adaptable. We have to relevance in the context of any society. It was relevant in information society. It is relevant in the AI society. It was relevant in the civil society because each and every classic of Ranganathan can be applied and used in the present day context. In fact, recently we have written, myself and Dr. Ding Dong Wo from South Korea, we wrote an article which is published, going to publish in the Knowledge Organization, an international journal, on relevance of Ranganathan's contributions to the society in the context of a knowledge organization like that. That particular thing we have mentioned, how the given colon classification, the research is going on still. So we cannot say they are dead. They cannot be said. And in fact, as long as Ranganathan works, Ranganathan libraries is existing, there is no death for the classics of work documents. And it is surviving it, going to survive, influence each and every activity of the case. Like rightly said by President, Files of Library Science, they are a classic document. Even now, they have got relevance in the present day context. Whether you have electronic media, print media, web media, any media, these documents are relevant, these contributions are relevant, which we are going to elaborate in the further things. These are the documents which I chosen for the present day, today's talk on this thing. One is the 5 laws, second is library classification, library cataloging, reference service, 3-card system, staff formula, education, LIS education, training and research, library registration. Let me take one by one so that I can take around 30 to 40 minutes on this particular thing. Then we can have discussion on it. Yes, books are for use. Every reader is a book. Every book is reader. Save the time of the reader. Library is a growing organism. And I would like to say some experience in this case. Many times our students, I'm sorry to say this point, having taught in the Madras University and other places after my retirement also, many students in the current students or the present day budding scholars even, they cannot tell the 5 laws concurrently one by one. They may jump to 213, 322 like that. Because that is why we are lacking in the education system, not giving proper emphasis on 5 laws in the present day curriculum. We talk about technology, ICT and all that. But I feel and I appeal to the current professors and departments of Board of Studies, everything, please include this subject in the society paper or information society paper, that kind of thing, because these are the classics which has to be implemented, applied in each and every activity of libraries in the years to come, whether it's an electronic library or a physical library, yet these laws are there. Morning I was talking in the VIT University, Chennai. The same thing that director and the pro-vice chancellor said that 5 laws are the classics we have to adopt in our library. See, what it say, Manacha Vasha Karmane, let us apply, admit, implement, execute, and enjoy the fruits of the 5 laws. That's why the books are for you. Yeah, actually, information for you. There are many ramifications, developments taken place in the loss of books. You have information, you have documentation, you can have any supplement and complement with different words. Thus, the 5 laws are becoming the important point. In fact, the 5 laws conceived in 24, 28, it was formulated, and in the book form, it came in 1931. That is very classic and a very scientific approach as given to the library science with the 5 laws. These are the things which have to become a central piece of professional values and a powerful inspiration of social change. When I look at the dynamics of the society, these laws as becoming inspiration for the social change. Let the society change from the tribal to the artificial intelligence society. Any society, this becomes the powerful inspiration as far as libraries are concerned, as far as information is concerned, as far as users are concerned, as far as library professionals are concerned. This becomes the inspiration for the 5 laws of the case. Then second is the 5 laws library science. Another thing, there are 24 words in the 5 laws, which are becoming intellectual framework for understanding all aspects of library work. More than generalities, they are founded in observation. In fact, I want to say one point. Ranganathan has not just written the books just like that. He worked in Madras University Library, where that becomes a laboratory for him. I was told by the colleagues of Ranganathan, later my teachers in Tirupati SU University and the Mysore University and Madras University, my guide Gangadhar Rao, all people have said that library of Madras University was the laboratory for Ranganathan. Their practices, he made him to write a reference service book, classification theory book, classified catalog code, prolegomena, administration. Because when you read the book, I said the classics, you will see lots of anecdotes which have been happened in Madras University Library during his career as a librarian. Therefore, they have given practice of library information science, this 5 laws are provided there. And second, then books are for you, you see. But what the people said that is, his professor was Ross in Madras Christian College, Chennai. He was the inspirator for designing and developing and spelling out the first law, books are for use. The other laws came from the mind of Ranganathan. So the first law has a rest on the propagated by Ranganathan, is based on the inspiration or the talks of Professor Ross, his a flash of Professor Ross teachings. And that's how the law is becoming both openness, it helps you in the administration of a library. A selective books are for use. They also focuses on how we have to select the books, how we have to use the books. This is another aspect of information literacy. You say search, access, use, retrieve, use, and evaluate. This first class speaks indirectly that kind of things. Search for books, books are for use. How you use? Search, access, retrieve, use, and evaluate. So when use comes, you are doing other activities. In getting the books, you get the selective use and get the correct book what you want it. That's what exactly Ranganathan's idea was that. That means it is indirectly says that let the user go to the library stack area and see the document and understand it, because many a time titles are often misleading it. When you read the book and browse the contents, you understand what the content of the document is about. For example, if you look at that, sun is my enemy, one document is there. S-U-N, sun, is my enemy. How come you say sun is my enemy? When you look at the document, it is a book on skin diseases constrained by a particular person, and she expressed her difficulty in getting treatment. That's why Sun is my enemy is a medicine book. Like that, there are many things, little science, big science. Even Ranganathan book itself, biography, librarian looks back. That's another document. People get often confused. It is biography of Ranganathan. So open access is another thing which he has made it this particular thing. Second is every reader is a book, her book. That's what books for all, information for all, education for all. Now information is another buzzword, and we need to have no open access has got very impactful aspect. Anybody can access information to any corner with the touch of a mouse and click of a thing, or touching of the screen of a mobile phone or a tab or a desktop, whatever the things may be. Therefore, the information is becoming all pervasive, and we have easy access to information at any point of time. It's not the case where we have some years back. Now that's how. That's another thing is this law says that Right to Information Act also came after 2004. So information for all means that government also has conceived the idea and made out the Information Act also. That is another orientation. And this particular law is a user-oriented law because it mainly concentrating on the users. Because Ranganathan says users are our gods, customers are our gods. Like Mahatma Gandhi says customers are our gods. So here in the concept of our libraries, users are our gods because we exist to serve user community. So we have to, that means in tune with the second law of library science, library bylaws, every reader, his book, her book means they need to have the book in the desktop. And this also leads the concept of a networking consortium, interlibrary loan. There are many things coming up nowadays. We're having the consortia network, so on and so forth. That means even in not in the library, from other corners, you're able to get the document. That means a reader has got access to information, books, either in electronically or physically or virtually by the implication of the second law of library science. Third law, every book is a reader. It is that once again means that books will have its own reader. There are books which are written by different people. Sometimes people use, some may not use it, but definitely a book has its own user. That is what is a, it is information oriented. The second law is user oriented. This law is concerned with the information oriented. And this is also says that books do not speak, but this particular law says that let the library make some exhibitions periodically so that untouched books, unread books can able to attract the users. Therefore, on any occasion, we used to have an exhibition in the library, like Vivekananda birthday or Gandhi birthday, Nehru birthday, any religious leader, Ramakrishna birthday, this kind of a thing. Today, Ranganathan birthday, let us display. That's what some of the libraries have done. They display the Ranganathan books, which hitherto not touched by people. They can able to get a glimpse of the books, and they're being tempted. Sometimes they read the books also. That's how this particular law makes that. The another thing is also leads like a first law to an open access system in the library. The fourth law is the save time of the reader. This is very important point. After all, users are very busy, and we are also busy in the sense we have to serve as many users as possible because customers need to be. That's what Ranganathan said. Between collection and the users, the staff will be the liaison officer. That's what Ranganathan said. The reference service are triangle, and he is the liaison connecting, matching. That's what Nokia connecting the people. No Nokia. We have anything else. You have Apple phone or Samsung or any other phone. They are the connecting the people. They become the nodal point for connecting. And this fourth law also says that way through the activities of the library staff who are skilled and qualified and technically trained and technologically updated the people. We need, because in the present day ICT world, AI world, we need to be updated to the current development in the field of library science, field of information science, field of technology, where we combine and consolidate and supplement with all these emerging technologies. Naturally, fourth law helps in saving time of the reader. Therefore, by using the particular emerging technology, other things, methods, and methodologies, so that the user's time is saved and user is satisfied with the information provision. That means the staff become more skillful oriented. That's why this definitely it will improve the efficiency of the library and efficiency of the library, and also by having the particular qualifications or improvements by means of a continuous professional education or continuous professional development people get, and thereby librarians are becoming well trained so that they can able to save the reader time of the reader and also enhance the very image of the library where he serves it. That is fourth law is that means every administrative organization activity of library are being centered upon the 5 laws of library science. Fifth law is the library is a growing organism. It is once again library growth vertically and horizontally in different respects. It's a biological phenomenon. Library growth, it is nobody can depend, nobody can constrain it. That means there should be, Ranganathan says, let there be provision for the future expansion, information wise, resources wise, staff wise. I'm sorry to say, staff wise, somehow the governments are not taking care and necessary staff are not being appointed, and many libraries are having minimum or no staff. I would like to say, I'm sorry to say this point at this open platform. Madras University, when I joined in during my student days, 80s, as a scholar and all that, they are having in Chepauk campus alone, there are more than 70 people working in different shifts, morning 8 to night 8. Now, the staff has so many years. The staff is not appointed. There is no librarian. There is no deputy librarians. There is no assistant librarian. All are depending on technical assistants, junior assistants, like that. That is another pathetic situation in Madras Library. And already government is taking action to appoint some of the library staff in due course of time. But it was this fact. And in many cases, library is growing with the collection, but not with the staff. So I request the ILA office bearers in this occasion, let our library office bearers can able to influence the government and the managements that the staff can be appointed with the minimum minimum requirements of the library staff, because to tune with the growing organism means when we have collection increasing it, staff not the decreasing trend. There is a reverse proportion cases there. That is another point in me. I can see many libraries like that throughout the country. The one point we have to consider this particular point. Buildings are being constructed, but not the staff are not appointed. There are many court cases. This is all there. That's why, true to the spirit of the fifth law of library science, we need to have the staff is very important. That too, providing necessary infrastructure and necessary qualification, necessary designation, necessary respect for the librarianship. That is one thing we have to have. The status is a very important point. Then only our staff can able to work in cases. And library motivated by the AI era, how it is there. Ranganathan times, books are circulated, now online resources. There are obstacles between books and the reader. Now no obstacles. We are crossing geographical boundaries, and every access book is we can confront it. Here also we are able to get electronic resources virtually. Now we are delivering the lecture across the country. People are able to listen, understand, and I can also meet many people virtually. This is why this kind of a thing. So every reader is audience. Every speaker has his own audience, and the same of the avoid wastage. Here provide the data setting capabilities so that it will retrieve information effectively in the case. And libraries is a growing organism. Here, anytime, anywhere access is provided. This invisible web is there. That is how the present AI era is being conducted in the case. Of course, when you look at that particular thing, there are many people across the globe has appreciated the 5 laws of libraries. I just put a couple of appreciations due to the time factor. I do not want to take entire plethora of the entire thing, but these laws constitute a fundamental contribution to the development of library science, documentation information science. Bhattacharya, former professor of Madras University, as well as DRTC Bengaluru. Athartane said he needs to be given Hall of Fame award. Of course, Ranganathan was given many awards, many recognitions, and he was also made as a national professor of library science. Yet something to be given. That Athartane is another direct disciple of Ranganathan, and she was very much telling about that. She wrote a book along with Ranganathan, Putting Knowledge to Work. That book is really a classical document where Athartane has done that job. I request if you're able to get the document in the library, please go through that book, an important document by Athartane, where you can see the connectivity of Ranganathan and Athartane in the library information science. And she has mentioned very effectively. And they remain the centerpiece of a professional value. These laws provided fundamental statements of goals that information services should strive for, and they are as relevant today as they are and years ago. That is how they are relevant. It was relevant yesterday. Today it is relevant. Tomorrow also it will be relevant. There is no doubt about that. Any society, any context, anywhere, anything in the case. And government has given its own appreciation. Graves, Berwick says his own teacher as a work of great simplicity, which conceals depths and yet reveals what may be called the spiritual but intensely practical springs of the activity. That's how the Berwick says has contributed and complemented the very works of the thing. Similarly, Michael Gorman, one of the outstanding things of Ranganathan Five Laws, the depth of meaning compressed into so few words. Such concision is the characteristics of Western poetry and Eastern teaching, secular and spiritual. That's how he brought the Western and Eastern philosophy to library information science. And this year I would like to mention my experience in 2011. It's from Korean experience. When 8 years completed for library fellows library science, nowhere in the world conducted a conference except South Korea, DAISY. The Korean Library Association in 2011 conducted an international conference on five laws. That's a very interesting point. At that time, they took two authors, two people from India. One is myself, another one from DRTC, Dr. Krishnamurthy, were two invited, and the other from Japan and South Korea and other countries. There are 6 English presentations, and I was the one of the speaker on five laws, and next Krishnamurthy spoke on that. At that time, Neela Megan has sent a message to the Korean Labour Association, professor of ERTC. Perhaps yours is the first international conference making the 80th anniversary of the publication. There is one year acknowledging that nowhere in the world has conducted a thought about the 80 years of five laws of library science. It is the Korean Labour Association and the KISTI, the Korean Institute of Science and Technology and Information. They have done this conference, very grand gala function. I enjoyed their hospitality for a week in South Korea, and traveling days in and a day and other places. And someone at that time, the National Library Korean people has mentioned that statement in one of the, they brought out a pre-conference proceedings. They mentioned in the preface, the five laws of library science advocated by Ranganathan, a great library professor from India, is very simple, but it is still playing a role as a campus to direct the future libraries even after 80 years since its first promulgation. That's how they acknowledged the beauty of the five laws of library science. Another quack has mentioned KSLIS, Korean State Library Science Society. The five laws of library science has become a basic philosophy of library management, not only in Korea, but also in all countries of the world. It is an essential basis of reputation of the library and occasional ethics of librarians. Likewise, across the globe, there was a lot of appreciation only. Nowhere there is a negative aspect of a five laws library science. So, in the relevance of a era, occupancy in the society, they are relevant. How is relevant? Let us talk it. There are many new interpretations coming up in five laws. And every day is my library, and his vision and legacy of Ranganathan will continue to be an inspiration and guiding spirit for the emergence of the new library and information profession. This one has to accept it. There is inspiration on Ranganathan. Today we are talking after 134 years. So why? We have been inspired, influenced, benefited by Ranganathan contribution. Today we are enjoying this facility because of contribution made by Ranganathan. We have to accept it, and we have to pay rich tributes for Ranganathan and going for things. The relevance is still, there are implications of five laws of these must be followed by library professionals in the present and future. Hope they succeed to professionally on long live happy lives, because we are all enjoying the status and all that. And it is a Western society library experts have explained and appreciated these are the cornerstones of library philosophy, foundation of library philosophy, the five laws. Like that, many people have given their references and appreciation in due course of time. They integrate to the electronic resources. They offer, like we say, a digital library 24/7, 365 days. All these five laws also make that kind of a thing. Today, what you talk in the electronic world or digital world or digital environment, this relevance is there in this kind, because the implications of the five laws in the present day context into when you talk about the electronic resources or virtual learning or even the webinars, we talk about that. Information for use, books are for use. The webinars are public use at the place. Sitting in our own places, we're able to congregate the technological applications. We're able to share information like that. Books are every day in this book. Every user is this information. Every speaker has got his own audience. Like that, naturally, our time is saved in not traveling here and there. Sitting in one place, technological implications, we're addressing, sharing our information. That's how the knowledge sharing is taking place virtually through the technology. These are all the side effects of the bylaws for library science yet to come. Next, another aspect is the library classification. Now, we can speak volumes of information on library classification. And it is the only classification in India designed by Ranganathan that became a national scheme of classification. And that is one plus point or a happy point of the library classification, because Ranganathan was not satisfied by the then existing ILA schemes like a decimal classification, Library of Congress classification, or UDC for that matter. Somehow he thought that let us have a classification which like a mechano set, analysis and synthesis things. That's how he has designed the scheme. By traveling from London to Madras by ship, he made the idea plane, verbal plane, and notational plane. That's how he made the classification on an analytico-synthetic level, breaking the subject into so many facets and synthesizes them into one thing by using the 5 fundamental categories. That is the rich contribution of Ranganathan classification. That is one nobody can beat. And of course, unfortunately, in Indian schools, slowly the use of scheme and teaching of the scheme is reducing. I cannot say it's, completely elevated, but still it is there. At the same time, I say much research is going on Koran classification. I was writing the paper to the Korean Knowledge Organization journal. I read so many articles, recent 2025, 26, and 24. Many people have written good articles and research articles on application adaptability of the library Koran classification, like Parthasarathi Mukhopadhyaya, A.R.D. Prasad, another professor from West Bengal, Kalyan University. They are still working on the like Panigrahi, Basu, A.R.D. Prasad. They are all doing good work on Koran classification. Really, I was able to read that articles recently when I was writing a paper on Koran classification. Because next month in Tirupati SV University, there's a conference on Temple 26. I had just contributed a paper on Koran classification, relevance and adaptability of Ranganathan Koran classification, and analysis of the certain experts. I wrote that particular thing. There I read this kind of books. I really amazing to read the literature, how the people in the young scholars are contributing, doing research in the technological application and contributing to the rebirth of Koran classification. Of course, there are sad points are there, plus points are there. Yet this is not the place to blame X, Y, Z, but still it is we have to blame some of the people for not bringing out particular thing. That's what I say. Ranganathan provided a blueprint of 7th edition as early as 1971. I was during student my BLS days in Tirupati SV University, 1977 batch. I found that particular 7th edition blueprint document, 1971. At the time we taught, we have been taught that the 6th edition amendment edition, but the 71 we see the document, and it took 20 years. It came into the document into the thing. That is how the 7th edition has come. As only one volume has come, though it was a planned ideologically 3 volumes, but only 1 volume came. But that volume is full of mistakes. I think most of my friends will accept it. It is not blaming XYZ, but it was like that. That's why when my student did PhD on designing development of a depth classification for physical education using 6th edition, because that was registered during Professor Gangadhara period. Later on, he died, and I became a teacher, and he became my student, that candidate. Many objected the doctoral committee. Why you are talking about 6th edition? Why not to do on 7th edition depth classification following the Ranganathan thing? I said, 7th edition is incomplete, uncompleted. I said one word, never be completed. They all get annoyed with me. Really, that professor, now I can say the name of the person. During 1982 conference in our Madras University, all stalwarts came from DRTC and the followers of Ranganathan, including Professor Kaula, Professor Mahajan, Nilamegan, Bhattacharya, Parthasarathi, Gopinath. All people came to the Madras University thanks to Mohan Rajan, then librarian, conducted the conference centenary celebration. When I made my presentation on that particular thing, an analysis of the Ranganathan contributions in the present society, I mentioned, I took only 4 aspects. One is the 5 laws, library classification, library cataloging, and staff formula. These 2 only, 4 only I took at that time for my seminar presentation. When I said this statement, they said I am an aggressive speaker. And somebody said, why do you blame us? And one person, after my presentation, he come to the veranda and put his hand on my shoulder. Babu, if you want, he scolded me here. Don't talk on the platform about that. He told me that. He was warned me also at that time. You are a young man coming to the field. You should not be targeted in the future. I said, I am not bothered. It's academic contribution, academic work. I am writing what analysis there. At that time, Professor Kaula called me. You prepare this lengthy document and send to me. I am bringing out international volume on Ranganathan. I sent that in 25 pages. It was a 4-page document. I made in 27 pages. I sent it to published in the international volume of Ranganathan edited. Some title is there. He has made one title at that time. They brought 2 volumes. Not that I am saying great. Classification has got its own plus points, its own limitations. There are financial limitations. There are institutional support lacking is there. There are lack of people also not associating with that. It is an open secret, open talk when you look at the CC is concerned. That's why no more things about memory. I'm blaming that, but still. And many, I read the articles by MP Satija and many other people writing about that particular thing. They mentioned how this is a document has been sidelined. And one person said, incomplete, incomplete, never be completed. There's another statement which I used to quote quite often. And they have been things, but still it is the notable work of Ranganathan. It has been considered the national scheme of classification in India. And it has been depicting the Indian philosophy of library science. And it is multi-dimensional bibliographic classification ever developed. It is the one thing Bora has given. It's essentially a multi-dimensional scheme of classification. That's why the scheme has to be given some light. I hope the young scholars will take some research on that, make the scheme viable, usable, adaptable. That's what I said. Adaptability and relevance of foreign classification in the present day context will be coming next month. That this conference is there in Tirupati. They bring out that particular conference paper. So what caused Ranganathan to leave the CC virtual orphan? It is like a virtual orphan only. That is a fate. He left the fate of the CC by Ranganathan. He has not given named anything. 7th edition, I said here, incomplete, uncompleted, never completed. This was the proven now. This is what the fate of the king. But I see, Satya has mentioned that many Indian libraries' view is that theoretical and experimental categorization, classification may in the West believe it was created by Indian subjects, particularly the classes of Indology. It's a truth. Ranganathan created a document, this kind of scheme of classification to classify the works of Indology, philosophy, religion, and so on and so forth, including many other subjects. And CC can be used for any document with this analytical synthetic technique and the mechano set with the 5 fundamental categories, other rules and canons and other things. Definitely the scheme would have given some light if it is being done. That is one thing. And DRTC has neither moral or legal obligation in this case. That is I mentioned that point. We cannot blame DRT just like DRT. He has mentioned in one of the articles that legal reason is not support, but yet morally everybody who enjoyed the pleasure of Ranganathan should have taken the time of making the scheme live instead of killing. Because Melville D is no more, but still DDC is coming to existence. For art track, in the Lafontaine is no more, but DDC, UDC is still being used with different dimensions are coming. Abridged edition and international medium edition like that. Why not CC come like that? If you have some institutional support and financial support, somebody can come forward and make the scheme much liver and make the glory of Indian library classification to history into a live light. And this 140th, the 34th birthday anniversary of Ranganathan, let us take a vote. I appeal to the ILA and other office associations and office bearers. Let us think a consideration, see that the scheme gets some sort of a life and legacy can be revoked. And then that brings the tribute we can make to Ranganathan on this 134th birth anniversary. So that Ranganathan Atma will Shanti Sundi, Atma will be Shanti, will get Shanti for his Atma. Because his struggling, his document should not go in waste. His contributions, his labor, his intellectual capability, his intellectual contribution cannot be put into waste. That is what my appeal, and many will also have the similar appeal, I believe, so that let us take some stand on that the scheme can get some life in the due course of time. And present times it is there, many people have given the plus points and other points, and there are many quotes are there, and these are the things, this is a scheme. Because, as far India is concerned, this scheme, its methodology is really modern in the context, because it came in 1930s, late 1930s. Whereas before that DDC came, UDC came. Therefore, definitely it is a young scheme and new scheme should not have died because of when others are older schemes are still surviving. Why not this scheme can survive? So this is where we have to give it, because these schemes are being conducted to explore the possibility to investigate the use of machine learning, other automated classification. Still are being experiments are being taking place. Artificial intelligence, machine learning, these kind of things are using it, using some of the softwares like Viswamitra, one software, an app is developed by Panigrahi and Vayadi Prasad and Basu. They have implemented something like that. They are doing, experiments are being done. Let us now see that the scheme should not have its natural death. Let us give life to it. That is one thing my appeal to the case. So then recently I read one other article is that the following quote from Raghavan, K.S. Raghavan, my predecessor in the Madras University, he said, we even think that the theory of the facet analysis implies ideas which are still to be explored and fully utilized in the electronic environment. Ranganathan developed its CC facet skills too early. This time is still to come to benefit as a structured domain language used in the AI and expert systems. So that's how the present system is going on. Expert system, artificial intelligence with so many virtual reality and my machine learning, etc., etc. This definitely can be used in due course of time. Let us hope positively, objectively, that scheme will get its rebirth, regain its catalog. Next comes the library catalog. This is also another thing which you have to consider, the important thing. CCC essentially a universal, but it has drawn sustenance from the predecessor with the cutter, because Ranganathan has got some inclination and the cutter's influence are there. The cutter's principle of library cataloging, where he mentioned his objectives and functions, has been explained and has been reflected in the classified catalog code. Really, it is interesting code for Indian is written. Really, he talks about simplified cataloging and selective cataloging. That CCC is an good example, and he also mentioned the conflict between the alphabetical and the classifiers by symbiosis is another thing. So symbiosis is another important factor which we have to get consideration in the library cataloging. It's a very interesting code, and somehow the 5th edition has not gone beyond that. Once again, though Bhattacharya brought out the cataloging practice as a guide to the revising edition, but he brought the practical manual without revising the CCC 5th edition. There it is a failure, and what the 5th edition says and what this manual says doesn't match it. He has not brought out amended the regulations and rules of the CCC catalog code. There is it is a failure. That become two different watertight compartments like a CCC 5th edition and cataloging practice by Bhattacharya to become not matched in this case. But the practical examples are not going in tune with the rules given in the CCC 5th edition. You would have brought 5th edition amended or revised. That is not been done. Therefore, that is also having its natural death in the course of time. It is regrettable that Indian libraries hardly ever adhere to CCC. Very pathetic situation. We celebrate the Ranganathan birthday every year, and somehow we speak to him, write about him, research on him. But in many cases, even the board of studies, many schools, they say, why should we teach column classification? Why should we teach column classification, cataloging practice? Let us go to ASCR2. Let us go to decimal classification. Let us go to UDC. Yes, I do agree. But at least at the basic level, let us teach our own. Let us not kill our own scheme, our own cataloging code, our own practical principles of library science. Let us give left. That is where I appeal, and this would have been a lot of glory for library science and the librarians. When you say the fraternity is enjoying and contributing and celebrating this birthday, let us also take the works of Ranganathan can live, survive, and do much research on that, so that this particular thing can be able to get some sort of a thing. And this code has got lots of impact. Even the British bibliography has used it in those days, and this gave a rise to the precise POPC, and all that came to existence because of the Ranganathan's catalog code principles. And both Ranganathan Bhattacharya got his own POPC, Neelamegan got his own POPC, and the precise by Derek Austin. All that is a byproducts of the Ranganathan concept of the cataloging principles. That's how he influenced even the very metadata. I would like to say this point. The term meta was used by Ranganathan the first time. Not we talk about metadata. Ranganathan, as long as during his time, when he classifying the reference sources, he says primary source, secondary source, tertiary sources, and meta documents. The word meta used by Ranganathan the first time is when you look at one of the books by reference sources by, I think it is Louis Shores or William Kurtz, there is mention about meta document by Ranganathan. That is how in the metadata we talk today, It is there already in the library cataloging, and Ranganathan is already forecasted what would be the future of libraryship and library cataloging classification after his death or a post Ranganathan period or centuries later also. It remains same. There is a strong philosophical foundations of library science in the works of Ranganathan, which we cannot ignore it. We have to appreciate it. We have to implement it. We have to embrace them, adopt them, implement them, teach them, practice them in due course of time. That is the rich tribute we can provide Ranganathan's today, birthday. We can able to give rich tribute by doing this kind of activities. The next aspect is the library administration, the staff formula. Here, very interesting, which we have to think about that. And unfortunately, the present day administrators, government, and the policies do not think about staff required and staff available. And there are many implications, the complications are there, legal complications and other administrative complications and management complications, government policy complications are there. But still, Ranganathan has designed and developed a formula. What exactly we need for a library depends upon various sections. It depends upon the number of hours needed, the nature of work done in different sections. He gave one mathematics, being a mathematician. Ranganathan is a mathematics person, no doubt about that. That mathematics you can see in the working out the staff formula for libraries required in different sections. When you look at the Ranganathan administration book, or more easily you can understand is R.L. Mittal administration book. Both are the same, but Ranganathan reading is some difficult. So many people studied Mittal book, including myself. I read R.L. Mittal book. Sometimes I refer sometimes Ranganathan administration book, but both are the classic documents. And that book gives very much explanation about Ranganathan staff formula. Even now I see this is an important point which you have to think, and the staff formula, at least present circumstances, with the technology applications, maybe staff needed less, but still there is a need to staff to be appointed, different cadres, different levels to perform, to concentrate on various library activities so that the efficiency of a library can be explored in the context of library services in the electronic environment or AI environment case. That is how the formula is doing. In fact, I did one survey some years back in city colleges, in libraries. Nowhere the recommendation of Ranganathan has been followed at that time. That is another tragedy. But Ranganathan said clearly, once this formula is accepted, the alteration in the strength of the staff would become mechanical and impersonal. He had a very strong belief and think that this can have impact on designing and developing and implementing the staff and arriving at a figure of staff required for different sections. That's why implementation is a very important point. Once you implement it, it becomes more mechanical, more impersonal. But that somehow it is not taken. And even the very place Ranganathan designed this formula, Madras University is suffering with the lack of staff. It's a very pathetic situation. This one has to consider this particular point. Even he chaired the UGC committee in 1965. That document still classic document in the libraries. From 70 years old document still is like a Bible for us, the Bhagavad Gita for us, in Quran for us. That particular thing you can able to see that the staff structure he has mentioned 7 decades ago. This has to be considered, and I may appeal that this kind of thing, let us have some thought on staff formula by Ranganathan. That's why he has given. And on the eve of the birthday anniversary, 134th birth anniversary, it is requested that UGC form a high-level committee to examine the academic library staff structure and offer workable solutions while adhering to his formula for the benefit of the library profession and services on the eve of 134 years birth anniversary. This is why I appeal to the case. Then, 3-card system is there. The another thing considered for the registration and maintenance of the periodical section. It was implemented successfully in the Madras University Library, and many colleges the system was used. In Vivekananda College, I worked for librarian for a couple of years, nearly a decade. I was there in the Ramakrishna Mission Vivekananda College before going to Madras University. We followed the system also. Unfortunately, the government of Tamil Nadu has made that is not acceptable for auditing purposes. They told us you maintain ledger. This is not required for us. This may be for our administrative convenience. You please maintain ledger and stuff because we provide budget for you. You are spending lakhs and lakhs rupees on journals and you are showing the cards. When the card is lost, what about the record of the document? So they doubted because audit party always doubts the people. So that's how we have to turn to ledger book from Vivekananda College. The cards no longer used. That is another very pathetic situation I experienced as a librarian in the college. That is another point I would like to say. maximum turnover with minimum service possible with this card. But government did not accept it. That's why this particular thing. Then reference service. Yes, reference service, very important point. Ranganathan has given a structural blueprint of Ranganathan. What means the staff and the users, the collection, the library is very important. He says pinpointed, exhaustive, efficient service to be provided in the library in case at any time, given time. And he has divided two things, long range service and short range service. Really, the service is the important point which you have to say. That's why summum bonum of librarianship as far reference is concerned. Today we talk about information service, other different, you have used so many names, but ultimate aim is serve the community, serve the user community. So that's why Manava Seva, Madhava Seva you say. Similarly, user service is the librarianship service. So that thing is a very important point. And incidentally and practically, even in the AI society period also, the service to the library users and library patrons are still being done successfully, effectively with the technological application. So that means reference service, the concept of Ranganathan is still relevant, going to be relevant in due course of time. Even the next generation of society, definitely this service has got its life. So here is our applause to the Ranganathan concept of reference service in the present day context. Then come to the education system. Ranganathan is another important factor because 1911, the Baroda, it was a course started by Dickinson and Melville Dewey. At that time, they had a diploma course and certificate course like that. Later on, the education as academic discipline got life with the Ranganathan efforts. When he said already, our Vice President said in the dignitary remarks that Banaras University, Delhi University, and many places, including Madras University, he has started a diploma course, all that. So that is how, and even Madras University, Mala also did a summer school during Ranganathan period, 1929, and still Chennai is boast of many universities and institutions, and Ranganathan has influenced many universities to start the course. And as becoming education has become an academic discipline, we did the research on that, we have the publications on that. So the education of library information science in India has got the birth and has given, it has got the length and breadth of the country as friends. And today we are all boasting of having the doctorate degrees and MPhil degrees and other postdoctorate degrees because the research component has been done, first PhD done given by D.B. Krishna Rao in 1957 and later on. But unfortunately, he could not produce more PhDs like today we produce it. But that is a classical PhD by Krishna Rao on the depth classification. And even DRTC during course of internship and the second year apprenticeship, then they have to develop at least 2 depth schedules on the subject. So during that time, till Ranganathan time, 129 depth schedules have been done. I have done a survey during my student PhD work on physical education depth schedule. 134, we got the documents for our research analysis work. And later on, after Ranganathan death, unfortunately, even DRTC training also, the design development of depth schedules has totally reduced and become there is no development of schedules on the particular aspect of it. But research in the other aspects has been gained importance. In India, we can see, I can say the mushroom growth of PhDs in the Indian library science scenario. Maybe plus or negative points are there, but still research has got an academic discipline oriented because the foundation stone, the seed laid by Ranganathan has spread the length and breadth of the that's another point where education, training, and research has got importance in the present day concept. Of course, that's what I said, very few has got, but still, Ranganathan is instrumental in supporting LIS education and has studied as a distinct academic discipline in the library information science. That was what we have to think. And impact of AI is there in the library information science. So many people are talking about education, using AI, other things, and we need to have skills in using the AI tools and technology, all being taught in the library education. In fact, the current education system is revamping it, regenerating it, rebuilding it, rethinking it. There is a lot of thinking going on. We have so many academic syllabus committees by Ranganathan, then P. N. Kaula and Karsidappa. Afterwards, nothing committee has been done, but they have done a constanding, substantial work on syllabus formation and course contents, and we are developing it. The young library professors in the universities are developing, designing very good courses, and practicable application oriented are there. And still naturally, you can able to think that you can able to get some sort of employment. That's what there was a mismatching. Now we're trying to get a matching of what the society needs, what we are training in the present day context. Both are being connectivity is being done. Our present young library professors in different schools, I have seen their course contents are something revamped. At the same time, I was arguing whenever I go to a board of member, please do not stop the basic foundations of library science, which Ranganathan argumented on that. That should be maintained. And you can think other technological things. There should be a balance on that. That definitely we have to consider that. In fact, in Thailand, when I was in visiting professor in Mahasarkham University, they teach Philos library science on one of the management papers. And in my stay, I was teaching that particular topic to the students of Thailand. And I teach in English, the professor tell in Thai language. That's how, last year I went to the Thailand visiting professor once again. I spoke on research in India. When I gave lecture in English, the teacher spoke in Thai language, and they were able to disseminate what I want to say about Indian research, Indian training, Indian education, LIS, and like that. This is how other countries also acknowledging, recognizing, and believing the Ranganathan philosophy, Ranganathan things. That is what I would like to stress on that. Then legislation activity. Yes, Model Library Act 1930, and in fact, the first act in Tamil Nadu, then it was Metro State 1948, where Ranganathan has got directly influenced the people. The then education minister, Coimbatore minister was there. That gentleman was influenced and brought the act in 1948. That backdoor scheme was by Ranganathan. That influenced Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Hyderabad Act 55, 60 Andhra Pradesh Act, 65 Karnataka, 67 Maharashtra, and now many states, except a few states, do not have states activity, but still acts are there. But how far the acts are implementing or acts are influenced the present development of public libraries is a big question. But we have to consider the level how the public libraries are really functioning as per the tunes of the provisions made in the act legislation, or just they are running on the whims and fancies of the respective government. It's a big question. One year should take a study on that particular case. It is time to do some research on that case. Legislation, that is what act says and what is going on in the present day context. They should be done. Somebody can take research on particular thing. At least one state, you see what the provision said, what the present state of affairs in the public libraries in the particular state. One good topic, somebody can take on research on that case. That's why I appeal. Then this is what the things are there. Many associations and policymakers have given much obligation to work toward Union Library Act is not there. There are acts are different states and is not there. That's why we have to consider some model act of Ranganathan can be thought of so that there will be some sort of, once again, it is a policy, government, many things are associated with that. So we cannot just stay in a platform like this, but at least for the development of libraries, let the legislation be strong, implementable, acceptable, practical, and developmental in the public library scenario in the respective state or the entire country as such. Normally, public library scenario is very poor in many states, many countries also. I have seen around a dozen countries. Some are very good libraries, some are very bad libraries are there. With less collection, like that. But still, library legislation definitely proves that part. So, is Ranganathan relevant in the changing dynamics of society? Yes, without doubt, I say yes. It is very significant to say that we can say proudly that yes, Ranganathan contributions are relevant in any society. Let the society change in the next couple of years. Yet then also some of the principles, works, contributions of Ranganathan are relevant because they are ethical, user-centric, and efficient in the present day context, especially in the changing dynamic society. Really, they have got their own thing, and definitely they use for the contemporary library developments and every aspect of library management. These are something conceptual. One has to be very proud that today, AI connected world, the 5 laws and contributions are remain pertinent, relevant. Definitely, they are having its own relevance in cases. And there, of course, I already said this particular thing, and I was referring to the recent developments, how recent research on 5 laws, they have written their own complications and research studies, like Kandia and Mallikarjun and many more people have still writing on Ranganathan works, Ranganathan contribution. Thus, making that is, people are thinking about what kind of service we are doing it, what kind of a thing a librarian should be talking about that. This is why the contributions of Ranganathan things, and we have to be very applicable in the AI society. It will be a digital society, and society, cyber society, any society for that matter. It is something Indian librarianship is proud to feel that Ranganathan and Ranganathanism are extremely relevant in today's AI society. No doubt about that. That's why I said at the beginning, yes, no doubt about that. It is still relevant in the case. We have to see that. So any development of computer applications, technology applications, emerging technologies, yet the course contents are being modified, revised, updated, and thus making the theories of library science are more relevant in the present day context. Therefore, it is not a question whether Ranganathan is still relevant today. Rather, it is a matter of us studying, putting his ideas and methods to use these various facets of library management. It is our own responsibility, our basic thing. We have to see that they should be made relevant. Not that he is relevant. We should make them relevant by putting our own contribution, our own activities, our own syllabus formulation, our own administrative libraries. Naturally, you have to consider that that is what exactly is needed for the day. And that is what our real contribution made on the 134th birth anniversary of Ranganathan cases. There are many people have mentioned about the thing, right to navigate through a period of transformative change. Definitely, there is a transformative change. There are so many, but we talk about the digital transformation, library transformation, social transformation. All that is, these contributions definitely make the transformation of libraries and transformation of library information services, transformation of library resources, all that is able to have the impact on the case. The present open access system, knowledge management system, whatnot, anything, content management system, all these current developments in the libraries and technology, they are still having some sort of connectivity with the contributions of Ranganathan in one field or other, maybe cataloging or management or education or bylaws or classification or reference service, anywhere there is connectivity is there. That connectivity has to be strengthened, modulated, and able to see that for the benefit of the Indian librarianship to flourish some more years to come, so that that is our age. We may go, next generation will continue. They have to enjoy the beauty, fruits of the Ranganathan contribution. That's exactly needed the hour of the present day society. Therefore, I just quote one poem. This is quoted by Ramamurthy, one of the books I read recently. I found this whole thing. I thought this may be relevant to the Ranganathan's contributions. It is William Wordsworth in his poem London 1802, referred after 2 centuries of written of John Milton. Here, this English poem to establish relevance of Ranganathan in the society. They have just mentioned the thing. Milton, thou should be living at this hour. England hath need of thee. Oh, rise up, return to us again, and give us manners, virtue, freedom, power. Thy soul was like a star and dwelt apart. These passionate words would apply what Wordsworth said, nature poet said. Really relevant and the proves testimony of the relevance of Ranganathan in the present AI society. That's what I thought of using the quoted by Ramamurthy. He took some other book, but I had his article. I reading that, I found that quotation. I was quoting that in the present day context. Definitely, these words will definitely relevant to Ranganathan to re-invite, because almost 5 decades, more than 5 decades, his life has gone. 72 he died, and today 2026, 26, 28, almost 50 plus years. But still, we invite him, we invoke him. We come over here, then come and inspire us, guide us, so that your contributions and Indian librarianship will survive in the global level. That's what I say. I conclude. A notable person is Ranganathan, no doubt about that. Modern technology brought so many changes, but Ranganathan writings will always have a place in the any time, any field, any time. Therefore, Ranganathan suggested 5 laws for a field, but those laws cover a wide range of essential things, essential topics, including equality, education, and advancement of humankind. By granting access to libraries and information and knowledge, they contain even in the AI society. These are the things I would like to place. And on this occasion, 134 birth anniversary 26, Ranganathan was remembered, he will be remembered, respected. What matters most on this anniversary of his birth is to prioritize his ideas for the advancement of the library profession in India and thereby influencing the global level library profession. It is our obligation. Obligation is not just obligation, it's our sacred obligation to honor him, by keeping his legacy intact and passion on his teachings to future generations. With these few words, I conclude. Deep roots promote slow growth. However, those who light the candle in the dark will contribute to setting up a new high on fire. This sums up Ranganathan's life quite thin. Therefore, those who die for a great cause always live. And Ranganathan is an example for that. He died, but his life is still relevant to us. His contributions are caused a great thing. Therefore, I appeal who is no longer with us in person, but whose writings and philosophy will continue to have an impact on us for years to come. With the few words, I just close it. I could say one more thing, fifth law of library science. The more he did, the more remains to be done. That fifth law of life is a growing organism. It is not end. That means whatever he did is not end. We have to contribute, supplement, and complement the writings of Ranganathan so that Ranganathan vision and legacy will continue. It will not stop at this point of time. That's with a few words. I thank the organizers, and I have published around 23 papers on Ranganathan in my service. In this 26th year, we published one paper I was talking about the Knowledge Organization Journal, a highly reputed journal. Myself, Professor Dong Wo from South Korea, is coming in the October issue. And other paper in SV University, I wrote about the relevance and adaptability of Ranganathan classification analysis. And another thing in Dharwad, I wrote one paper. And in ILS conference, I wrote on classical library science analysis in the society. That is a paper contribution I have presented here. And in Dharwad, Dr. Marching from library science to knowledge system, it was done in Dharwad. B.D. Kumbar, myself, that's Kumbar's first centenary of Dr. M.R. Kumbar, we got out a conference there. There I wrote 2 papers with my student and myself, and that is 3 contributions I have made. So totally we have done, I have done with 23 papers, and 1 thesis I have guided on Ranganathan design and development of depth schedule, micro schedule on physical education, and 6th edition CC in Madras University. These are the things, and I have done little work. I learned many things by reading Ranganathan books, teaching Ranganathan classes, philosophy, attending Ranganathan lectures, Ranganathan's contribution by different people. Thereby, I could be able to contribute, consolidate, and present before the August body with all the library professionals. I wish a happy Librarians Day, and let us now. I thank the ILA office bearers for giving the opportunity to share my ideas in the present day and the present evening. And I have great pleasure and thank you for your patient listening. I thank once again all the listeners, senior people, office bearers, ILA, president, secretary, and others for the opportunity given. Thank you very much. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you very much, sir, for the valuable lecture and your scholarly insights on the topic. You made us see the rare original pictures of the Library of University of Madras, and which was originally designed and developed by Dr. S.R. Ranganathan. So it's a rare opportunity for all of us. We thank you for this wonderful exhibit. You beautifully explained the relevance of laws and principles of LIS as propounded by Dr. S.R. Ranganathan in today's transcending world from agrarian society to AI era. You also shared with us the international perspective on the topic. You discussed in detail the relevance of all the important milestone works of Dr. S.R. Ranganathan, from 5 laws of library science to colon classification, and to classified catalog code, to reference service, user services, and staff formula. How these laws and principles can be adapted in today's environment, today's context, and its future development, including machine learning. So, thank you very much, sir. I expect the audience to give a big round of applause for wonderful in-depth deliberation as given by Professor Ramesh Babu, sir. We are really grateful and highly indebted to you, sir, for sharing your expertise on the topic. I'm sure this must have benefited all of us immensely. I asked the participants to post their questions on the chat box. So majority of the questions were on the related topic, that is how the laws of library science are still relevant in the AI era. But I feel that Sir has given ample deliberation on this topic, that how laws of library science can be adapted in today's AI era. There was one question by Ms. Megha that do we need to expand 5 laws to uh, you know to be modified or expanded to address digital libraries, virtual users, and born digital resources?
Yes.
There is one question like this, and there is another question by Mr. Sunil, who says that which of Ranganathan's 5 law is most relevant to the changing information behavior of today's users and why? So, uh, if you would like to respond, sir, although you have.
I respond to this. One.
Okay.
First thing by with the first thing we talk about the mega.
Very good. Yeah.
Do you think the 5 laws need to be modified? Yes. It was already, if you look at one of the works of Ranganathan's volume, it will be Mohan Rajan. There he has something, even Michael Gorman has given that documents for use, books are for use, like that. He has given the ramification and the application of the substituting the books. He added so many ramifications of 5 laws are there, documentation or information, so on and so forth. And in the context of the present electronic resources, e-resources for use, e-resources for users, like that you are able to adopt and apply this kind of a thing. Therefore, any activity of the laws definitely are being relevant in the present day context. If we really see how they are implementing and using, definitely they address the digital collections, digital users, and also born digital. They have given electronic resource for use, electronic resources for every reader, save the time of the users in the way. There's something I mentioned up there. It was there some 87 one book came, I don't remember the title, edited by B.A. Mohan Rajan, published by Allied Publishers. They are complete works of different people across the globe. It was edited and published by Allied Publishers. I forgot the title. I can name that thing also. There he explained the ramification, manipulations of the contributor Ranganathan, especially areas of library science. In fact, my Korean article deals that thing. I adopted those statements and put my Korean journal of library information science. Anyway, I am leaving this PPT. They can refer to contributions. They can see the full text of the article, where I have substantiated each and every contribution of Ranganathan in the present day context. It was there. Even next article coming in the Knowledge Organization October issue, online. Anybody can access it. Open access journal, Knowledge Organization journal. It will answer almost all the questions by our distinguished participants. I request all the people read the contribution, the documents in the Korean Society Journal Society 2011, or coming journal coming in the Knowledge Organization journal October issue. Coming in the article myself, Dr. Dong Wo. That is a recent article that gives certainly the current developments of library science and applications of Ranganathan contributions, the relevance in the case. I expect people can read and give the feedback of that article. That gives complete picture of Ranganathan contributions and relevance in the present day context. And regarding another question by our which law is considered, almost all the laws are considered relevant in present day context. There's no doubt about that. This is the basics of Ranganathan philosophy lies on the 5 laws, classical document, which cannot be complemented and which cannot be compromised on the case of a thing. Therefore, all these things are being, definitely it is going to be applied in the AI society also. When I gave that Dr. K. Raghavan statement, he has explained that how it is relevant in the going to be done, because he formulated the documents before AI society. Now they are being used, being exploited, being augmented, going to be implemented in the society. Certainly there is a relevance. There is certainly we can see the beauty of the Ranganathan contributions in the years to come. That's why AI-driven society or digital environment, network society, cyber physical society, everywhere it is there, can be used, implemented, applied, if we take in a proper perspective of Ranganathan contribution. Definitely you can see. Today morning, I was in the VIT University, they are telling, they are using that particular app they developed by the students of VIT. They say that the contributor Ranganathan 5 laws are the basis for that designing the app for the library and the resources. You can contact Dr. Tolkapian of VIT Chennai librarian. he can give that app, how the students have developed. In fact, today we have honored all the 5 students at the BTech students. They have developed, keeping in view of the pillars of library science, how the app is developed. The books are for you, they made one thing of thing, app is developed. You can enjoy that app if you contact Dr. Paul Kopian, VIT Library, Chennai Center. Then you can definitely see that. It's possible. No doubt about it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for the very satisfying answers from your side. And I hope this must have benefited all our participants. So, with this, we'll be moving towards the end of the program. So, from my side, I thank all fellow participants, other panelists, LIS professionals, other office bearers of ILA, especially the valuable presence of Dr. D.V. Singh, Dr. Owen Chaube, Dr. Dharam Kumar, the President General.
I think we are fortunate enough. Dr. D.V. Singh is here.
Okay.
Okay. I request Dr. D.V. Singh to please say a few words on this occasion.
Right, please.
Sir, are you here? Dr. D.V. Singh ji? I think some... Hello, sir.
Unmute yourself. Unmute yourselves.
Am I audible now?
Audible, sir. Audible.
Yes, sir. Very good.
Okay. It is a pleasure to listen Professor Babu. Since long I have been listening him and associated with him. And the way he has helped us in ILA and in other professional activities, I have no words for it except to feel it. But I would like to say one thing. Ranganathan relevance question putting on Ranganathan relevance in any era is a dishonesty on the part of the professionals. He is relevant because he has not talked about something which is relevant to the time. That is, whatever he has said, that is relevant to the basic fundamental of the information requirement. You may say book are for use, now you say information for use, tomorrow you can say something else for use. But he has said in such a way and in such a thought manner that it will never be irrelevant. This is one thing. Another thing is Ranganathan did not work for himself. If there was a saying somebody has said, I was looking into the somebody's comment that who works for society, they never die. It is true. Ranganathan's thoughts are not for only librarians. I have read him. I tried to read him. He was such a giant. I can't claim that I have read him very nicely, but I use his content once in Delhi University. I give one example. There was academic council exam. Academic council election. One gentleman, Kidwai, was applied for the post of one of the candidates. So we are sitting and scrutiny was going on. So one surgeon said, if his nomination either withdrawn or cancelled, so there will be almost unopposed election. It can be. The reason was that Pulin Nayak, the professor of economics, was the election officer. His name spelling was different than the spellings he written, but only he has written KI, and in the voter list it was KA. I said there is a rule in library science, canon of prepotency. And canon of prepotency means the potency lies the maximum in the first word and in the left of the word, and it gets reduced to the. And when I say Ranganathan, the maximum potency lies in R. If I change it with the P, then everything has changed. Therefore, his word is replacing his meaning of his name, and I don't feel it is a correct and may not be accepted. And Pulin Nayak got convinced and he rejected it. This is the strength of his philosophy, which I use in Delhi University Academic Council. It is on record. In not only that place, in so many other places, I've been using Ranganathan's thoughts, canons, laws, and principles. Read them. Then you will find they are not confined to the library science. They are confined to the human need. And human need what? Intellectual and knowledge need. ethos of the human, they are related to that, not to the library science. Though he was a library science man, but he gave his ideas for the humanity. So I never put this question whether Ranganathan is relevant or it will be relevant. No, he is relevant. You may not be relevant because you think locally. He was not thinking locally, though he was acting locally, but his thinking was universal thinking. And he was using that universal thought, universal idea at a local level. There sometimes we feel he was a library science man. He was not a library science man, one. But unfortunately, it is my really painful thing, which I am saying, the librarian now has forgotten Ranganathan except the 12th August. You go in the library science departments, in many departments, they don't teach Ranganathan philosophy. They don't teach principles and canons and all that, which is the basis of library science. But we celebrate Ranganathan's day. They're just saying in Hindi, हम गुरु नानक देव जी को मानते हैं लेकिन उनकी नहीं मानते. हम जो हैं भगवान कृष्ण को मानते हैं लेकिन उनकी गीता की नहीं मानते. This is happening in library science. हम रंगानाथन जी को मानते हैं but रंगानाथन जी की नहीं मानते. We have to bring people to follow his teaching and his principles and that. I don't want to say much more than this because Professor Saab has said so nicely and he elaborated the things in such a nice way. I was listening very carefully, and whenever I listen to him, I learn from him. He's like a teacher for all of us. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Abhijit, unmute yourself.
Thank you, Dr. D.V. Singh, sir. Your words are always icing on the cake in any given situation. So thanks a lot for sharing your wonderful take on the topic. I thank all the participants for today's engaging and thought-provoking session. May I now request Dr. Aarti Srivastav to present vote of thanks.
Good afternoon to everyone. Wishing you a very happy National Librarians Day. It's my privilege to propose the vote of thanks on behalf of Indian Library Association at a conclusion of this insightful webinar. It is indeed a wonderful and significant day as we honor the birth anniversary of Dr. S.R. Ranganathan, the father of library science in India, whose timeless contribution continues to inspire the library and information science community. First and foremost, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to our esteemed speaker, Professor B. Ramesh Babu sir, former professor in Department of Library and Information Science at University of Madras, for taking a time to be with us, and sharing the valuable knowledge, insight, and experiences on Dr. S.R. Ranganathan and classics of library science. Sir, your expertise and thoughtful presentation have made this session truly informative and enriching for all of us. I would also like to extend my heartfelt thanks to our respected dignitaries, especially Dr. D.V. Singh sir, former President ILA, Dr. Pradeep Rai sir, President ILA, Dr. O.N. Chaubey sir, former General Secretary ILA, Dr. Dharam Kumar sir, Secretary ILA, and all ILA officer barriers for their valuable support and encouragement in making this webinar possible. I would also like to thank Dr. Abhijit Sinha sir, Dr. Videsh Haninanchal sir for their valuable support. A special thanks to a chairperson of ILA webinar series, chairperson of this ILA webinar series, Dr. Vinita Jan ma'am, with Dr. Shiv Shankar Prasad sir, to make this webinar possible. And I also thank to my wonderful technical and coordinating team for their sincere efforts, valuable support, and dedication in ensuring the smooth and successful conduct of this webinar. Finally, I sincerely thank all the participants, including students, research scholars, faculty members, professionals for joining us and actively participating in this session. Your valuable presence, passion, and active engagements have truly made this webinar meaningful, informative, and successful. On behalf of ILA, I would like to thank once again, thank you to everyone, for being a part of this wonderful learning experience. I hope the knowledge and insight gained by you today will be useful in our academic and professional journey. Thank you all for your valuable presence and participation. Once again, I extend my warmest wishes to everyone on the occasion of National Librarians Day. May we continue to uphold and celebrate the vision and legacy of Dr. S.R. Ranganathan. Thank you. And participants, kindly fill your feedback form within 30 minutes so that your certificates can be processed and issued accordingly. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Aarti.
Thank you, sir.
Shall we
Thank you, Fernando.
move towards the closure? Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Vanita and the media team and the technical team. Thank you very much.
Thank
Shall
you,
we close, sir?
Yes, Babu, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much once again.
Namaskar, sir.
All the bearers, ILA, DV Singh, sir, and all senior people, participants, youngsters, Viresh, and many people know to me, Jane madam and all that. Very happy to see all of you virtually.
Yes.
I'm sharing all that.
Yes.
Thanks for the opportunity given.
Namaste, sir.
Namaskar, sir. Namaskar.
Namaskar, sir.
It's okay, sir.
Thank you, the participants.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Can close.
Please close. Thank you.
Thank you.
Please close the session now.
Yes, sir.